The National Electrical Code, Section 300.1 states that the current ratings of conductors and the settings of circuit breakers shall not exceed the values given in National Electrical Code Tables 310.15b16 through 310.15b19. National Electrical Code Section 408.36b states that circuit breakers shall be rated to interrupt the current available at the line terminals of the equipment unless the circuit breaker is specifically tested and listed to determine its interrupting and closing rating for the application. National Electrical Code Section 90.4 states that the approval of equipment shall be permitted to cover any deviation from the requirements of this code provided the authority having jurisdiction finds that the deviation is clearly necessary and essential for a purpose not contemplated by this code and that such deviation is not otherwise prohibited by the code. NFPA 79 Chapter 11 Electrical Systems Industrial Section 11.73 states that electrical equipment shall be inspected and tested in accordance with Chapter 8 of the Standard and National Electrical Code, NFPA 70. NFPA 79 Section 11.74 states that electrical systems shall be sized and protected to carry the actual loads. NFPA 79, Section 11.11 states that factory wired control panels shall be tested in accordance with applicable product standards listed in Table 11.11 and the guidelines in National Electrical Code, NFPA 70. While the National Electrical Code generally requires adherence to tables and calculations, it also allows for deviations under specific circumstances. NFPA 79 emphasizes the importance of sizing and protecting electrical systems based on actual loads. To justify using measured current load, NFPA 90.4 states that the deviation is necessary and essential to avoid excessive overrating, which could lead to wasted resources and infrastructure. NFPA 7911.74 states that the measured current load demonstrates that the actual load is significantly lower than the calculated load, and the system can be safely sized and protected accordingly. NFPA 7911.11 states that the machine has been tested and verified to operate within the specified current limit. It's important to note that using measured current load does not absolve the designer or installer from any liability in case of an electrical failure. Firstly, proper documentation is needed. Document the measured current load, the calculations performed, and the reasons for deviating from the standard tables and calculations. Secondly, consider having the measured current load verified by an independent party. Thirdly, err on the side of caution if the measured current load is close to the calculated load. And finally, regularly monitor the system to ensure that the actual load remains within the measured values. While the National Electrical Code generally requires adherence to tables and calculations, deviations may be allowed under specific circumstances. Using measured current load for sizing circuit breakers, conductors, and disconnects can be justified if it can be demonstrated that the actual load is significantly lower than the calculated load and that the system is adequately protected. However, proper documentation, independent verification, and ongoing monitoring are essential to mitigate liability concerns.